So today I am trying to shoot macro photos in infrared. My previous video, well, when I say my previous video, my previous infrared video was testing whether you could go ahead and push roll the infrared. And this is important because you're going to need it for macro photography. Because macro photography, you need more light than normal photography. So the answer is yes. I was able to go ahead and push the film. It looked fantastic, and I could even shoot handheld, which is going to be important for later. But for now, what I'm trying to do is just do some really high fidelity, or highest fidelity possible that I can do at the moment, infrared photos. And that's why I've got my RB. My RB is playing up at the moment. It is not firing always when I need it to, but I'm just going to have to deal with that for today until I can actually get it fixed. I know how to cause it to actually fire, but it's just fidgety. So the big issue that I'm gonna have is that unlike a lot of my other cameras, the infrared is obvious where the infrared light is supposed to be focused. Infrared light doesn't focus like normal light, so therefore usually a lot of the older lenses out there have a little red arrow, and that tells you where infrared focuses. Now, if I come over to my camera for a second, I don't have that. So I'm going to probably take 2 or 3 shots of each little thing that I'm going to photograph, which means I'm not going to get much subject matter. I'm just going to do the one roll on the RB. And I'm gonna go ahead and see what works so that I know in the future. After all, these videos aren't about making art. Sometimes it happens, but they're more about the technical part, learning and understanding how something works, providing that as information to you, and then allowing me to go ahead and make art with the technical knowledge that I need to complete a vision that I am looking or trying to achieve. And if I haven't made it very clear, I'm going to be pushing this film, so I'm going to be rating it at 25 ISO, and it is sunny. It is not often sunny for consecutive days here in my city, but it is. It's been sunny for a few days, and so therefore I've waited a few days in, because that's usually when it's the most calmest. You want to have the least amount of wind as possible, which is very difficult in the windiest capital in the world, that is Wellington. Okay, so my light meter here says that it is 25 ISO. I can do 60th of a second and an aperture of 8.
So what went wrong here? Because I've done pushed infrared film before and it came out well. And here, I think, is the answer. This filter here that I'm using is a 760 nanometer filter. However, previously I used a 720 nanometer filter. And 40 nanometers might not seem like a lot to some of you. But in the world of infrared photography, it made all the difference.
So as I just showed you, I have 2 slightly different infrared filters. One here is the 720 nanometer and the other one is the 760. And because last time I had used the 720 nanometer, I thought that being able to push infrared film was pretty darn easy. However, that 40 difference in nanometer did make a difference. It did affect the photos that are in this video, so just to let you know right now, there is some issues with the photos for most of the video. However, I thought the video was done quite well enough, and also it was a fair amount of work to do the video that I didn't want to re-record. So there is 2 extra rolls that I shot for this video that will play near the end, which are timestamped in the description, that show how this project should have come out. Most of what I'm saying in the video is factually correct if you're using the 720 nanometer filter, not the 760 nanometer filter, but you know, this video and every other video that I make is experimentation, and it's a learning process. It's a learning journey. That's what this video is. So sit back, relax, watch and enjoy, or skip ahead if you want to. Now, I know this video is supposed to be shooting macros, and what I'm shooting probably at the moment isn't what some people would consider macro photography, but I think I'm only gonna get so close to a beehive. Sweet, so that is f8, 1/60th of a second, probably be too slow for the bees. And this is focusing at infrared, so that's what we're gonna do. Sweet. So what we have now is 3 photos that were supposedly shot at the infrared in focus, and we'll be able to see the depth, we'll be able to see the sharpness, and we'll be able to see movement. Perfect. So we want to go up one more stop, 250th of a second, f3.5. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do it if it's focused in normal light, just to see how difficult or how off this is. Okay, 5.6, 1/25th. This is 250th at 3.5, normal focus. Okay, so when I said I wasn't going to get any closer, I lied to myself. But this is about as close as I want to get. Okay, I've shot this in the previous photo at f3.5 and 250th of a second. Okay, getting the hell out of here. That's about 3 meters, right? That looks about it. It's gonna be really interesting because I'm basically composing in the dark. So something along the lines of that. Over that way. Hazard a guess, 3 meters. If I go 5.6, I can go 1/25th. And again, it's probably about as close as I want to get. That was probably an awful photo. So let's try take it again. Don't even know where I'm composing. I don't have my flippy for this one. Okay. So 3. Yeah, it was right about 3 meters. I might be a little dark at the moment. I don't have auto ISO adjustment set up on the infrared digital camera, just because I don't trust it. So yeah, you can see the sun's dipped a little bit. I'm just waiting for the sun to turn back up, and I will then go ahead and take my photo. I think I've got this pointed at the right place. I think I know exactly which flower it's taking. I'm just waiting for that sun. I really love on a sunny day that is basically pretty cloudless, that just every bloody cloud that wants to hop in front of the sun, hops in front of the sun, and I'm waiting. The city is awful for getting into photography where you are super reliant on the sun. So it's saying 30 for the second. Because you get some quite bright highlights, I'm gonna, okay, 30 for the second it is. No, 60 for the second, I'm just gonna have to. So we're not facing the sun as directly, so the lowest this can go down to is 6.3, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so a little that way. Make sure we don't double expose. So I think I'm going to photograph the same flower. Just because there's other flowers around it, so you get a little bit more on the composition, but most importantly, I should say, most importantly, you don't get too much overlap because you've basically either got black or white. You don't want white on white, obvious reasons. So yeah, you don't want that. You want some separation. So I think that is what I'm gonna do. I like where it's positioned. I can tell that it should be separate from the other flowers. So give me one moment and I'll take 3 more photos. Should have taken that off. Okay, yes, a vast difference. But we are coming closer to get no difference, if you think about it. You know what, I quite like this composition. And I might just switch it to vertical. It's the first time I've done a vertical composition in this video, but it might just work. So I think I'm done with this location. Time to move on to the next location. I only have a few hours left before I have to head back into the office. So off we go. So I've done 2 of that. So 5.6, 1 stop, so let's go F16, so 4 stops. So 60th of the second would become 30th, which would become 15th, which would become an 8th. So I have no idea if I got that. That was a butterfly sitting on those. We will have to see. We will have to see. Okay, I'm gonna try something, see how quick I can do this. I either got those shots or I didn't. I don't think I'm gonna get to the spot that I was gonna take a photograph because I'm on 32. No idea how those photos turned out, but hopefully good.
I was very disappointed that these shots, whilst they were more exposed than some of the other photos, it just... missing focus and not getting it sucks.
So I have no idea if I will get any good photos, and it's possible that I do. It's possible I even get some great photos, but highly likely that I get great photos, somewhat likely that I could get some good photos, very possible I get okay photos, and highly likely I just got bad photos. So it will just take me a moment to actually see what these look like because I've got to go ahead and take them to the lab. I won't be doing a follow-up in this video. Like I said, if I get good photos, it's fantastic. If I get less than good and I get some terrible photos but it gives me enough information to work on, that's fantastic too, because I can always come back and do a follow-up video. You have to go out into the field sometimes to learn, and sometimes that means you might end up with failure. As always, it's been real, guys. Until next time. So I said earlier in the video that there's a difference between these 2 filters, and I thought that I needed to test this hypothesis. I didn't want to wait because flowers don't last very long when they start blooming here in Wellington. It is the windiest capital in the world. So I went out and got rid of this filter and put this filter back on the camera, and I also use this filter because it's the only filter that I have for my Mamiya C220, which I use instead of the RB because I don't have a 720nm filter for the RB. That allowed me to go ahead and get these photos. Now, as you can see, they are more exposed, but as you can also see, these photos here are heavily out of focus. I would recommend not using an extender. You can't see what you're shooting and the tiniest movements are out. I thought I'd just try my luck and see if I could get one photo in focus, but that didn't really turn out, so keep that in mind. However, the Mamiya C220, that came out really well. Exceptionally pretty darn well. the grain was a lot less, and also adding on to that, it was just so much more easier to shoot. It was so much more easier to shoot because you've got the filter sitting on the taking lens, but the viewing lens has it free, so it doesn't have it on it, so it's just a lot clearer. You can see your image, and whilst I did get some photos that were out of focus and I missed, because it's hard to tell where the infrared focus is on that camera, I did get some in focus, and whilst it's not as good as my Adox Color Mission 200 macro photo that I've taken, it's definitely a step in the right direction. But this does bring me around to a conclusion that I unfortunately don't want to support. I'm probably going to be shooting digital infrared for macros here on out. It's just far too difficult and cumbersome and challenging, and the quality is nowhere near as good when you shoot film infrared macros. I might do it every once in a while, and now that I know that I can do it, it's cool. But for the risk of the amount of shots that you waste and the cost, it's just not worth it versus the beautiful infrared footage that I've been getting that is macro. So, as always, it's been real, guys. I'm going to leave you for now with the beautiful infrared footage that I took on my converted Fuji X-T10.